Although they shared the same philosophy, Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, while Epictetus was born a slave. This contrast shows that Stoicism isn't reserved for the privileged. It's a way of life accessible to everyone. A key element of Stoic philosophy is the ability to maintain a calm and steady mind. In fact, the Stoics believe that true happiness and inner peace come when we live in a state of balance and virtue. If you're looking to bring more peace into your daily life, I invite you to watch this video until the end. We'll explore 3 essential parts. First, the thoughts and practices of Epictetus. Second, the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. And third, I'll share practical exercises you can start using right away. The journey to a calm and balanced mind starts now. And if this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is dedicated to practical and down-to-earth Stoicism. So be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to help us spread this life-changing philosophy to more people. Part 1. Epictetus. In his teachings, Epictetus emphasizes the importance of valuing inner peace over things like wealth, status, or even physical beauty. He teaches that mental calm doesn't come from trying to control what happens around us, but from choosing how we respond with our thoughts. His most important work, the Discourses, was recorded by his devoted student, Arrian. Arrian also compiled the Enchiridion, or Manual, a short and powerful guide to Stoicism that was even used by soldiers before going into battle. These works show how Epictetus dealt with stress, worries, and daily struggles, offering valuable lessons on staying calm no matter what life throws our way. Stoicism doesn't just inspire, it equips us with practical tools to face life's storms with clarity and composure. Let's begin with the first principle: live according to nature. In one of his lectures, a student told Epictetus he wanted to go home because he was feeling ill. Epictetus agreed, but not before asking whether that decision aligned with the student's moral purpose. The lesson here is clear. We should act based on the demands of the present moment. The course of the universe is beyond our control, and trying to force things only creates suffering. When we're unwell, Epictetus advises us not to push ourselves into tasks that go beyond our current limits. Often, the wisest choice is to accept our condition and act in a way that supports our well-being. He reminds us that while illness may affect the body, it doesn't have to take away our ability to choose wisely. This doesn't mean we have to complete every task no matter what, but it does mean we still have the power to decide between emotional chaos and rational thinking. This principle also applies to emotionally charged situations, like family arguments or relationship conflicts. Epictetus teaches us to avoid 2 extremes: getting overwhelmed by emotion, or shutting down and pretending nothing's wrong. Losing our calm can lead to impulsive words, aggressive behavior, and emotional decisions that damage relationships in the long run. Living according to nature means recognizing the reality of the situation and responding with balance. No matter what happens, we don't control the actions of others. The Stoic path calls us to accept this truth and to respond with peace and presence. And it's how we respond to these realities that leads us to the second principle. Watch your judgments. Epictetus encourages us to pay close attention to our thoughts and the judgments we make, especially about the world around us. He reminds us that anxiety doesn't arise from events themselves, but from how we interpret those events. Each person sees life through their own lens, shaped by beliefs about what's acceptable or unacceptable. That's a natural part of being human. It helps us form moral perspectives, but problems arise when our judgments create unrealistic expectations or a false sense of entitlement. For example, we might carry anger for years because we believe we were entitled to loving, supportive parents, but didn't get them. Epictetus challenges this mindset. He says we have the right to have parents, but not to dictate how they behave or what kind of people they are. This perspective applies broadly. It pushes us to ask, why do we get upset about things that are entirely natural? In Epictetus's words, distinguish in your own mind and be ready to say, it's not the event that troubles this person, but the judgment they attach to it, because another person might see the same event and not be troubled at all. This way of thinking is especially powerful in hard times, whether we're going through a breakup, dealing with job loss, or feeling neglected by family. When we step back and look at things objectively, without being clouded by emotions or expectations. We gain the clarity to respond with reason. This protects us from being controlled by irrational thoughts and emotional turbulence. And when we stop obsessing over what's out of our control, we naturally start focusing more on what we can change. That shift leads us to the next key Stoic idea. Focus less on what's beyond your control. At the very start of Epictetus's Enchiridion, or Handbook, we find one of Stoicism's core ideas, the dichotomy of control. This principle teaches that some things are up to us and others are not. Our job is to focus our energy on the former and let go of the latter. As social beings, it's common for us to try to shape the world around us using tools like money, influence, power, intelligence, or even charm. But Epictetus reminds us that, at best, these are tools, not guarantees of control. Even when we manage to control a few things, there will always be countless others that remain far beyond our grasp. What we do control, and what truly matters, is our own mind, our thoughts, our choices, our responses. That's where we should focus our energy. It's not so much about what happens to us, but about how we respond to it. Instead of constantly stressing over things we can't change, we can turn inward, developing self-awareness and emotional discipline. That doesn't mean isolating ourselves from the world. In fact, the Stoics were deeply engaged in life and community. Rather, Stoicism teaches us to develop a kind of healthy detachment from external outcomes. This detachment helps us navigate life without constant stress, without being emotionally shaken by every twist of fate. This leads us to a beautiful Stoic concept, amor fati, the love of fate. It means learning to embrace what happens, not just with acceptance, but with gratitude. Even when things don't go our way, we trust that every event is part of a greater unfolding. The bottom line, when we center our efforts on what we can control, our own mindset, we build resilience and peace. In a world full of uncertainty, that's a powerful way to live.